caviar connoisseurs, and welcome to this special Thanksgiving holiday episode of Sports Caviar. I'm one of your hosts, Javi, and I'm joined by none other than Burn Nasty.
Love it, Tav. Love it. Great week. Yeah, I'm excited about this episode. So much to talk about, and I imagine it's going to tie into some rivalry games. And I'm going to Michigan, Ohio State games. I'm ready for this week. Thankful for that, but I'm also thankful to have our boy Bijan with us. How we doing?
Yeah, Burn. Grateful for you. So much to be thankful for. Rivalry week, Thanksgiving, Sports Caviar, and our wonderful caviar connoisseurs. Great program up ahead.
Yeah, so for you connoisseurs, this is going to be a shorter podcast, but we're going to dive real deep into a couple of different rivalry games. If you can't tell by Nasty's attire, he's rocking the FSU hat. That shows that he's 50% FSU and 50% maize and blue. So
Go blue.
You really can't lose if one of your teams, like right now, you have two teams that could possibly make it to the college football playoff. You're riding pretty high right now.
I mean, I can't be more excited. I really can't lose unless
they both lose.
Unless they both lose
Unless that happens.
in the playoff game and don't make the national championship. But let's not talk about that right now. I think we're in good shape.
Yeah, like imagine. So I think that from my perspective, I'm like, I'm all in. I got one team. If they lose, I'm screwed. With you, you're like, okay, I got two teams, and if one of them loses, I still got the other one. Does it make it worse if you have two teams and they both lose? Is it double the sting?
Ooh. Or you could be
It
me
would.
and not have anything. How about that?
Yeah, you could be Bijan and have no skin in the game. I will say, here's my take right now is what I'm feeling and what I'm hoping for is a Florida State, Michigan as a 2-3 seed. That way I'm guaranteed one team to be in the national championship. And that'll be the better team. And therefore
you need Florida State, Michigan in the natty. Then you're guaranteed a natty.
That's true.
Yes. Hobby. That's heaven, right? But we're not all
Who would you go for?
Don't
There's
say
still
that.
time, Burn.
Don't say that.
What?
Don't put me on the spot. The listeners are going to be upset with me, most likely, at least most of them.
Michigan, if they play
Florida State in the national championship, I would most definitely be wearing all Michigan with Florida State socks.
Oh, Florida State sock.
Look, I've been a Michigan fan for 42 years. I've been a Florida State fan for 24. At the end of the day,
Inverse equation.
yeah. But no, at the end of the day, I think having them in the playoff game is better because what happens if they both lose in the playoff games and not make the national championship?
Yeah.
So I'd rather just have them play first. That way I'm guaranteed one team in there playing for it.
Where it gets a little dicey for you is the fact that you're like this weekend's game is it. This is
it.
massive. Yeah. Because you already know you're going to win the conference championship.
Yes.
Trash.
If you get into the conference championship, you're going to win it. Whoever wins this weekend. It's the same thing. Yeah. We're in the same boat with Florida State. It's just like.
No, FSU is to win two.
They've got to win two, but I'm saying if they lose, they're out, right? If Michigan loses, they're out. So these are big weekends for both my teams.
Michigan's playing a better team, though.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
By
Obviously, by far. Like it's
no
not even
one's
close.
going to argue that.
We're talking about a team that's 5-6 against a team that's 11-0. Oh, sorry.
simple
Yeah.
math.
Bijan, how's your team doing?
Bijan, yeah.
How you feel?
2025 will be in this discussion. I'm excited about 2 years from now. No, I have a great effort on Saturday night, but another heartbreak. I'm finding myself, it's good to be emotionally invested again, though, because expectations have been low, but Saturday night, I finally allowed myself to really maybe perhaps believe we were going to pull it off in Columbia, Missouri. Great effort by a really young team on the field and heartbreaker. I just couldn't hold them on 4th and 17. And then some terrible prevent pass defense. And then the thicker kicker does the chomp. And I found myself weeping again on a Saturday. It's been too long since I cried. But it was nice to be emotionally invested and just take the ride. It's worth it. That's what this love affair is all about.
We got to get started here with this Florida State Florida game because such huge heartbreaking news in Tallahassee this weekend. Jordan Travis, I was at a chili cook-off actually. I didn't really think that I needed to watch this game, North Alabama, and I figured Jordan Travis would maybe play a quarter and then just put on his street clothes and be safe and sit on the sideline. And so I'm at this chili cook-off, really enjoying myself, and I'm starting to get all these texts. And I'm like,
Ooh.
okay, what's happening? And first things first, I look at the score. We're down 13-0, and I'm like, okay, that's probably not good, but I'm fine. I wasn't nervous. I was like, this is not a good start, but it's fine. Whatever, we'll figure it out. But that's not why everybody was texting. It was like JT's out, like his career's done, and I was just like, what? It was
a bowl of chili.
a punch. Yeah. So then I'm like, the whole rest of the night, I'm like, just contemplating, what the heck does this mean? And then, okay. So then an hour later, I get a text. Graham Mertz just crushed his collarbone. He's out for the Florida State game. I was like, here. So
Tough night.
yeah, so just brutal situations. Obviously, that means more to FSU because Florida State's trying to make a run. It does affect this game for Florida, not having Mertz, because now both teams are having to go to the backup quarterbacks, and that's a big reason why the line has moved all over the place, right? So I'm going to start with Bijan, and I would like for you to tell us, okay? I want you to tell us what your thoughts are. Florida State is -7 now, okay? It started at -10, down to -5.5, and now it's at -7. It's settled in. It's probably going to stay around that, I feel.
7.5 is what it'll go off. That hook is going to come back. Let's play a
You
little
think?
game. Better? Or we could do more, same, or less. More, same, or less.
Sure.
Both quarterbacks, we're going to play with Jordan Travis and Graham Mertz. Okay? Do they have, we'll start with Jordan Travis, since you guys are obviously Seminole fans. Who has more passing yards? Jordan Travis or Graham Mertz?
I think
The
that the
answer is
reason why
Graham
you want to
Mertz.
play this game is because you think Mertz has more.
Well, he does, but he's
Yeah.
had to play. Jordan hasn't played full games as much as.
We're
Graham's-
just going to go through the exercise, and then that's all.
I can almost guarantee because Graham's had some big passing games. He's had he's been in the 300s multiple times.
Yeah.
I would say Graham Mertz has more passing yards than JT.
Yeah, JT hasn't really had a ton of massive. I was expecting him to have some like 500-yard passing games. He hasn't really had that. He's been really efficient. He only had 2 interceptions, and he uses his legs way more than Mertz.
So how more or less?
Yeah, it's
Less,
a simple
definitely.
question.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's 27.55, Travis, 29.03 for Graham Mertz. Yeah, okay, touchdown passes. More, same, or less?
I would say more for JT.
I'm going to go with same.
Same is correct at 20. They both
Okay.
have 20 touchdown passes. Interceptions.
As always. Less.
I mean, JT's only got 2.
JT has less.
Graham Mertz only has 3. So very impressive.
JT's won that one now.
Yeah, completion percentage. Who's better?
Ooh.
You've been touting his efficiency, so I guess Graham Mertz.
I'm going to go with JT.
It is Mertz, 73% completion rate. Travis, not bad, 64%. QBR, Travis takes him over Graham Mertz. But what I'm trying to explain is both these quarterbacks, their losses, huge impacts on their teams. Graham Mertz doesn't get the press that Jordan Travis is a top 5 Heisman candidate. Look at Mertz's numbers. Not saying you should be in that discussion, but to your point, this is huge losses for both teams. You happen to have Todd Rodemaker, who has some experience. He's a 4th-year junior.
Tate.
Is it Tate?
Get our names
Yeah.
right.
Tate Rodemaker, who's a 4th-year junior. Good for Tate.
Never heard of him?
He's got a ton of experience. We're starting a kid that's thrown 5 career passes in Max Brown out of Tulsa, Oklahoma, who can run the ball in a panic. So this is very good
what
for
was
you.
his ranking at a college or at a high school? What was his recruiting ranking? Was he a 3-star?
I just don't. That's probably his only choice, or he just found us. Maybe he got off the wrong plane. I don't know, but good for him. He put together a good drive at the end. I couldn't tell you. I was impressed with his running ability. Not the same as Rodemaker being plugged in for you. I think it's at home. Both teams are gonna rally around their lost quarterback. I really wanted to see this matchup. I think the whole country did. It's just too bad. 7, I like. Wouldn't bet it under that. 7.5 is what I need. We have played in close games.
Yeah,
we really have. We've been competitive in most of them. So I like the 7 points. I'm clearly going to take it. We're going to need all the help we can get in a home crowd at a 7:00 game.
Vern, all the thoughts.
Yeah. First off, hearts go out to JT and Mertz. He's got to be top 3 quarterback as far as just likable for what he went through, his story, the diversity that he went through. It's hard not to just fall in love with that kid. Like for him to, and he's in the hospital, he's tweeting out that Brock Glenn got his first touchdown, and way to go, boy. You got a guy like that. Graham Mertz has had a pretty solid year. Started off a little rocky, but John said, stats don't lie. He's meant a lot to that program. Would have loved to see both teams at full strength. I think it would have been a really exciting game. I think what helps Florida State is that Tate's been in the program for 4 years. He knows Norvell's system. He was Norvell's first signing. So I think that's big. I think that if they just let him play, they're going to have to switch the playbook up a little bit to play to his strengths. But, again, Max played well. He had, in the limited time, I don't know enough about him, but, so when in doubt, you go with the better team for the year. And I think Florida State wins. I think they can go into the swamp and get the W. 7 is scary to me. I think the hook would be nice because I think that would help me make a decision. But if I were going to just go off 7, I don't feel confident with a lot of burns, but I would go, I'd take Florida State. Laying the points. I think they want to show, especially after dropping in the playoff rankings today to number 5 spot. I think they want to make a statement, say, look, we can still win. We're still a good team. We deserve to be in that conversation. I think they'll show it.
Yeah, I think that this game is still going to be exciting because it's now the battle of 2 backup quarterbacks, right? Yeah. So I think that we were looking forward to JT Mertz, but now it's still somewhat even because you just moved to your second strings, right? The difference is that what you had mentioned, Bern, is that Rodemaker's been there forever.
Yeah.
And he's been challenged on the road. It's nowhere near the same type of hostility playing at Louisville last year in a rivalry game versus Florida. The swamp is going to be ready for this game. Everybody that I've talked to that's a Florida fan is so pumped for this game. They have this weird belief that Florida is going to win this game, especially because Jordan Travis is out. And I don't blame them. Nobody knows what we're going to look like with Rodemaker at the helm. I think he's a better passer than JT. He does have a really nice arm. He's got plenty of weapons right now this season anyway, because he's got Coleman and he's got Coleman and Johnny this season. Next season is a whole nother discussion. I don't know what we're going to be looking like at wide receiver for him. But for him, okay, when Steve Young took over for Montana, was that in the middle of a season? Did Montana get hurt? Do you guys remember?
Is that when Montana went to the Chiefs? Is that right?
Yeah.
Then Steve Young stepped in. I believe that's how it went down. I might be wrong on that. I think
it wasn't mid-season or anything.
I think it was the end of the season. If I'm not incorrect, I think Montana went to the Chiefs. He was on the cover of NFL 94. And then Steve Young starts his ascent as a Niner. But I could be wrong, Bernie. Straighten us up.
Young he stepped into starting role in 1991 after Montana suffered an injury. So that is a correct statement.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's not to compare JT to Montana or Rodemaker. I'm trying to give just a little bit of an example. So then there's same thing with Brady and Bledsoe, right? Like you get where I'm going here.
Mac Cassell. Take over for Brady.
Definitely not
Mac Cassell.
Okay.
No, what's his name?
Castle.
What's his name?
It's
Matt
Sam
Castle.
Cassell.
Oh, in Florida State great. There he is.
What's that?
Sam Cassell.
It was Matt
Who that-
Castle.
That's what I
Matt
said.
Castle.
Yeah. You
He said
said
Matt
Cassell.
Cassell.
Okay, I screwed up the enunciation. Sorry,
Tate
Matt.
well, that's a
Shout
big
out.
difference.
Castle. Okay.
So you have Rodemaker, okay? What kind of butterflies is going to be in that kid's stomach walking out into the swamp on Saturday? Like,
He's a junior though. He's been there in some tough environments.
he has,
I like that.
but he's taking over for JT, who's gotten us 16. We've won 16 in a row with Travis, okay?
Yeah, true.
And
True.
we're on the precipice of a playoff, and we're playing a rival game, which we're supposed to win, and all the pressure is on you, buddy. And the
Yeah.
thing is, if he performs, right? Oh my God, the sky's the limit. All eyes are on him right now, right? If he comes out, he throws 5 touchdowns, 350 yards, no picks. Oh my God, how many millions of viewers are going to see them? It's just, I can't imagine what that kid's going through. I hope that he can channel his emotions, and I hope somebody's on the sideline keeping him calm, because it's just, there's so much on the line here for that kid.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's sitting there saying, "I can't screw this up. We're 11-0."
You don't think that's a good attitude to think of?
That's what I'm saying. That's what he's got to be able to keep in check. And that's
Different
man.
scene. I thought he did a good job coming in second half. He clearly had to get his feet under him. First 4 balls were incomplete. He does finish the game 13-23, so he figured it out. But not a great start to the second half for you guys. But he turned it 13-23. I think threw for 2 touchdowns. So
Yeah.
to your point, got to use the weapons. I think we see a lot of check downs, a lot of screens. Get
Yeah.
it to Coleman.
Yeah.
Get it to your big fella on a bubble screen. Just don't make it difficult
No.
for this guy. Yeah. Our defense is not tremendous. So just move the ball. Can't take a sack. You don't need long drop backs against us. Just throw it to an open space. There's plenty of them.
And I think that's what it's going to be. It's going to be the trenches. Like if our offensive line can give him time, and Florida's got a great D line.
Our O line has
tough.
been a little
Horrible. So they are going to have to. If anybody has to step up, it's not. I don't even think it has to be Tate. It needs to be the offensive line has to give him time to go through his progressions and make throws. And if that happens, I think we can win and not be too worried. But
in a sexy fashion
it's a
is
big
what you
but.
were going to say.
I was going to say that, but I don't want to hurt Bajan's feelings this early in the
Pop in there.
podcast.
How,
Give me hope.
Bijan,
Hold on
do
to
you
hope.
think you guys are going to blitz a lot?
We've got a
How
young
was
D
your
coordinator.
linebacker play?
It's the same that the rest of our team. Really young and inexperienced, extremely athletic, gifted. I'm hoping that Scoop Williams will be back. Number 11, great young linebacker for us. Still learning instincts, but his raw talent is tremendous. We will compete. We blitz somewhat. I don't know that we need to do that. I think that's a mistake. We'll get into trouble. What we don't want to do is give you guys man-to-man matchups, especially
One-on-one
for
with
Johnny.
Deion.
Yeah, well, that's just a disaster. So I would like to show blitz, maybe run some zone blitz. I think we have to run some. I don't know with our maturity how much of that we can do, but I'd love to see that from a defensive scheme perspective. We're going to compete. We do in every game. I do agree with Byrne that the offensive line, if you could give him 3-step drops, you don't need to take 5 or 7. Just get it back, get the ball out. We tend to give that up and keep it in front of us.
Our O-line is one of our weaker units, though. So that's the thing that if anything, I'd be a little bit nervous about that, because JT he's hidden them a little bit because of his legs. He's so dynamic back then. You haven't noticed that our O-line is just average. We're going to see it now. And that's when I'm like, okay, you guys better step up, because old boy Rodemaker back there, he's a little mobile, but he's certainly not Travis.
No, few are. Few are.
So we'll see what happens there. If you can, I'm going to take FSU -7, but if you can tell, I'm a little nervous about it, right? A little nervous about it. On game day, I'm probably going to wake up. I'm going to be so pumped. I'll be like, yeah, we're going to cover this, baby. Don't worry about it. But right now, I'm a little nervous.
So sacks for the year, Gators ranked 102nd, 102. That's triple digits.
Okay,
not great.
Well, that makes me feel better.
Until they sack us 5 times, and then I'm like, well, that sucks.
No, they played some pretty bad teams. They should have been able to move up their rankings a little bit on, but I should say non-mobile quarterbacks, but
Yeah.
not bad teams, but just quarterbacks that weren't dynamic, which is going to be Rodemaker. He's just going to try to beat you with his arm, but remains to be seen. Florida State did drop to number 5 in the rankings. Anybody listening here? So I did think that was possibly going to happen because Washington they've had so many ranked wins that I was like, they're going
Gotta reward
to
them.
move it.
Got to reward them.
Yeah. And as we know, Michigan is immune to any dropping in the polls. So it doesn't matter what their strength of record looks like. So they're going to jump Florida State. But I do think, obviously, it's a numbers game. Ohio State plays Michigan this weekend. One of them is going to lose. One of them is going to drop.
Ohio State's going to lose. Let's just make sure we
make that clear.
Yeah, and speaking of, let's move to that game. So I'm going to let you start this one, Burn. So the line has moved to -3. By the way, just going back, Max Brown was a 3-star, just to make it clear. He was a 3-star.
Congratulations, Max. I'm sorry I didn't know that.
I think Rodemaker was a 4, correct?
Yeah,
or was he a high 3?
No, I think he was a 3 as well, actually. Yeah. To put a button on this, Rodemaker was Mike Norvell's very first commitment,
correct,
by the way, for Florida State. So it could be a nice little story then when Florida State wins it all with his first commitment and they go all the way and they win and they win it for 13.
Speaking of another great storyline, the Michigan Wolverines.
All right, so Michigan, this game is not. There's so many distractions going on off the field right now with the Ohio State Michigan game that I wonder how. I'm sure that both teams are laser focused on winning this game, but it doesn't. You still have Michigan. Did Jim Harbaugh? Did he end up? Is he going to be able to coach this game? Because there's no way. No,
they accepted the suspension, took all 3 games.
Okay. All right. So then you have your assistant coach that has to coach this game. Did you figure out if Jim Harbaugh, can he talk to him during the game?
Yeah, they do. He's available all week. He just cannot be at the game.
Can he talk to him in the game?
Oh, during the game? No.
Yeah.
I don't believe so.
You cannot have any contact.
If it's 4th and 1 with on your own 50
more.
Oh.
Or he just looks up to a convenient spot on a seat on the 40-yard line. There's
Correct.
a man in glasses and a mustache.
Yes.
Not Harbaugh.
No.
That'd be great.
Factor. I don't know if you want to admit it or not. That is a factor. You don't have your head.
Oh, no. I think we've seen that head coaches matter. They do.
And Michigan struggled with Maryland.
Yeah, we struggled. And Maryland, we're 3 plays. There's three or 4 plays there that Maryland could have easily taken the lead and that changed the game, and we could have lost that game. But I think it was
a Maryland.
Yeah, it was a trap game. We had just come out of a big win over Penn State, emotional win for Moore, as you can tell by his post-game interview. And we're looking ahead. We have the game coming up. It's a big game, especially with the distractions. But at the end of the day, look at it. Yeah, but we took care of business. We won, and that's all that matters. We got to this next game, and now we're home, and we're gonna take care of business. I think we showed it at Penn State. Hell, we went 30-something straight runs, and we didn't have to throw the ball at all. We didn't open up our playbook. We're saving it all for this game. Saving it all. We're saving it all for this game, Hav. Okay, and we're gonna do it for Jim. We've got the better.
Everybody, all these teams do it for whoever.
Yeah. Florida State's doing it for JT. We're doing it for JH, baby. We're doing it for Khakis.
And Florida's doing it for Merck.
And Florida's doing it for Merck. So I feel very good about it. And again, I'm just beyond excited about being up there for that game to see it in person.
What a blessing, Burn.
Oh, man.
I'm telling you.
That's going to be amazing.
High of 38, low of 24.
Bundled up.
What time is
it? It's a noon
kickoff?
game. It's a noon game.
It's a noon game.
Oh, it's always noon?
Always a noon.
It'll be 36 at kick.
Yeah, 36.
Maybe 35. Yeah.
Right. What's up with these weird traditions?
I know.
It's like
2 versus 3, man. Throw that under the lights, baby. That was
I would be fine if Florida State was at 3:30 kick and Michigan Ohio State was at 7:30.
The good thing is at least Michigan Ohio State noon. I can get out of that with a victory and then go watch the Florida State demolition. So that'll be good.
Okay.
And what time are you going to
But-
wake up for that game?
We're waking up at 6. We got a tailgate at 7. I think we're leaving the house at 7:30. We're about a mile away.
It
It'll
is so
take us about
funny.
20 minutes. Yeah, so it's going to be exciting. Thankful to be able to watch with my brother and my niece and nephew. So it's going to be an awesome time.
Where's your
Yeah, just-
seats at?
We're about on the 30-yard line we're actually on the visitor side.
Oh, you
Right.
like it over there, Burn. That's where you.
But at the end of the day, it's going to be all Michigan fans. It's
Yeah, it should
110,000.
be.
110,000
Yeah.
of my closest friends. Looking forward to. But Michigan, I don't think they've played their best game yet, and they have dominated all season. But yes, if you throw out the Maryland game,
Tough competition this season.
yeah, I think we're the better talent, we're the better trenches. We had a lot of tough games, a lot of great teams that we played. We had some winning teams, by the way. Rutgers is 7-4, so let's not get
They're tough. Yeah, they're hard.
Penn State.
Oh my.
Look, it doesn't matter. I don't care. Michigan's gonna go in there, take care of it. It's Michigan versus everyone. They're playing. It's rightfully so. They're playing the victim card, and which is fine. Again, I agree with the suspensions. Obviously, there was cheating. That something happened. There was an infraction. Wrists were slapped. We're fine. But
What are you worried about in this game though? Because the line is only
I'm worried
-3, so
about-
obviously it's -3. You get 3 points typically for being at home.
correct.
So this is a coin flip. So
It's a coin flip
what
at a neutral site.
what matchup is it that you're concerned about? There has to be concern.
Will Johnson versus Marvin Harrison Jr.
Absolutely.
That's
Anyone
honestly,
against
that's it.
Marvin Harrison.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not worried. We've got great linebackers. We got a great D line. I think we can handle the run. We can contain the quarterback.
Yeah.
But Marvin Harrison Jr., I don't know. And Will Johnson is a great corner. He is elite. But Marvin Harrison Jr. is on a different level than everybody. And if he goes off,
Similar to Keon Coleman, I think.
yeah, I think he's on a step. He's a step ahead of Keon. But yeah,
You're parsing hairs, right? Parsing
but
hairs.
if we can limit, let's just say, here's my thought: 8 catches, 98 yards, and I will be a happy camper, and Michigan will have won by 8. So I'm going to take
Bijan-
Michigan because I'm there. I'm taking Michigan because I'm there. So of
you
course,
gotta
I'm
John,
taking
what are your thoughts on this game, bro?
I couldn't agree more with Byrne as far as what the biggest factor in this game is, and that is the only top 5, top 10 pick, Marvin Harrison. It's not him against the world, but it's him and then the rest of the world because that's how good he is. This is a next level talent. I love the second generation story. 8 for 98 may work. You just got to worry about how many touchdowns may be attached to that. And this is going to be a great ball game. I'm excited about it. Here's some key stats. Michigan only 1-4-1 at home against the spread. Not great against
This
not great
season?
teams. Yeah, 1-4-1 against the spread at home.
We gave up.
Yeah,
I
but
mean, we stopped.
those were
playing.
like
Oh, they should beat those teams by the spread. OSU on the road, not terrific, but average 2-2-1 on the road, much better than 1-4-1. However, Ohio State is 7-2-1 this year against the spread. 7-2-1, very profitable. They tend to cover the number. OSU, best pass defense in the country, statistically. Close to Michigan, and Michigan's 2 or 3. Michigan's passing offense 64th. I think that's a difference. Also, OSU, they don't give up big plays. Second best defense against the big play. Michigan doesn't have they're decent, top 30 in big plays, but I think OSU stops as they're primarily running plays, gashing plays, 15 to 20 yards, which I don't think OSU is going to give up. Great ball game. I love getting 3 points. I could see this being 21-20. I could see this being 19-17. So getting 3 points with a team that I think is right there with a player that I think is the best player on the field in Marvin Harrison. Bernie, I love you. I want you to know that. Just for the points, I'm going to take, hey, this breaks my heart because I got to take the Buckeyes and it hurts me. I got to take a +3. Not to win the game, but +3 if I'm getting 3 points on the road in this matchup and 2 teams that I feel is equal.
See, and Bijan,
Yeah.
I'm okay with you taking the points as long as you're not saying that they're going to win outright. Don't take the money line.
I would not take the Buckeyes money line, but I love 3 points. I love this could be a weird 12-9 game. This could be 21-20. It could be anything. But I think the 3 points is perfect. Marvin Harrison is a huge difference maker. And I really like him to continue to show out on Saturday. However, Michigan will come to play. They will run the ball. They will control the clock. Great ball game ahead.
You have to go all the way back to 2016 to find an Ohio State Michigan game that was within 3 points. Okay.
We're due.
Every other game since then has been somewhat of a blowout.
Great
But
stat
especially
have. Nice work.
the last 3 years, blowout city, right? Now, that's weird to me, first of all. I don't think that you guys were on 2 different planets for the last 3 years, so that's odd that it's been such blowout city, but there's so many factors at play here. But you have it's gonna be cold, right? You said it was gonna be like 30 degrees.
That's
So
not terribly cold for this time of year. These guys are from the Midwest. 38's like springtime. It's almost December. It's a different
springtime.
breed. We're not down in the swamp. 38's not awful. Yeah.
Marvin Harrison against Penn State, which is that a comparable to Michigan? I don't know, but that's
Defensively, it's not
yeah,
that
defensively.
off, but
Yeah, they only lost by 8 points to Ohio State, right? But Marvin Harrison, 11 receptions, 162 yards in a TD, right? And then Stover went for 70 as well. I think you guys could probably hold Harrison to 100. Whether or not, man, he's such a weapon. He is just such a weapon. And Ohio State is trying to figure out ways this whole week to figure out ways to just get him the freaking ball, right? I don't blame him for it. I do think that there's going to be an element of Michigan. They're I like that they're playing at home if you're a Michigan fan in this particular scenario. I think that if you guys were at the Horseshoe, I would probably take Ohio State. But I think home field advantage is actually going to play a massive part in this game. Both equally matched up. And I do think Michigan is going to pull out the win on this one. I'm going to take them -3.
look at that.
I love you.
Aligned with Burn.
Yeah.
All year, this whole season, every podcast, you have literally just gone against the boys in maize and blue.
Mm-hmm.
And finally today, you have admitted your mistake.
I
And
am.
the listeners are so thankful that you are finally just coming to your senses and choosing the right team.
I never admitted that Michigan was overrated earlier. I'm just saying that Ohio State, it's not
You
like I
kinda
trust
did.
that they're so much better. Like,
You alluded to that, though. I
Every
actually-
week, who have they played?
Yeah, I know.
Who have they played?
they have played nobody. You still haven't played anyone.
Record of schedule, ROS.
Your SOR, your SOR is terrible.
Whatever.
Yeah.
SOR.
But you guys finally have a chance
SOS.
to.
So,
You finally have a chance to prove that you're good, right? And I think that you guys are evenly matched with Ohio State. So I really think that this is a coin flip. If it's a coin flip, I'll take the home team. Bada bing, bada boom. Now, I think that Bijan is actually taking Ohio State because 3 points is like nothing, right? So you're basically saying that Ohio State's going to win.
3 points is significant. I liked it better at 3.5. I will, if I'm going to, play responsibly, I will recommend 3.5 to 4. It is worth the extra 10% to 20% juice you will pay because this is going to be between 3 and 4 points. I also like with a focus on Harrison Jr., Cade Stover, their tight end, could come into play here. So this is going to be a great matchup. We know what we're going to get with both teams. There are going to be a couple of wrinkles, but man, this is great to have a significant
Get the
game.
chili
to start
out,
the
eat
day.
some
Oh,
chili.
yeah.
It's going to be a great start to college football Saturday.
Yeah,
that's
it
for
is.
sure.
I
And
love the
rivalry.
chili. I thought you were going to say you were at Chili's, Hob, and I was like, were you getting some Southwestern egg rolls? Chili cook-off. I'm like, this guy, the Chili's.
Is that what you order when you go to Chili's? You get the
I've been
rolls?
Southwestern egg rolls are phenomenal there, and they've really the chicken
Oh.
crispers have come a long way.
They're very
I don't-
greasy.
So I've only been there 4 times in my life, but we took our boys, and they think it's heaven there. And I'm like, we clearly are doing a good job culinarily. So
You know what Chili's is good for? They have this queso bean
yes,
concoction as an
Yeah.
appetizer.
mm-hmm.
I might
Oh.
want to go there right now, actually, for some.
This portion sponsored by Chili's.
One
And
day.
their spicy margaritas are good too, which I know Byrne is a spicy marg guy.
I am definitely a spicy mar guy. Sign
On
me up.
Tuesday nights, especially, if you want to find them at Chili's or any Mexican restaurant, drinking a spicy marg and with some nachos.
Hey, that
Right
is
place to be. Nothing wrong with that.
90% of the time. That's probably an accurate statement.
Okay, so we got our picks in for the two big, massive, huge games this weekend. Let's go rapid fire. Like, there's one other, obviously, the Iron Bowl. Do you care about the Egg Bowl? Does anybody care about that?
It's my least favorite name of a rivalry. The Egg Bowl just
Yeah,
sounds
like-
pungent. Pungent.
What kind of like satisfaction do you get saying we won the Egg Bowl? Like,
It
come
sounds
on,
like a foodborne illness.
do better.
The Egg
better.
Bowl. Come on,
Yeah.
Mississippi. We know you're behind the rest
Yeah.
of the 50. Come on.
What goes on in the state of Mississippi? That's the decision
So
they made.
much that needs help.
Besides racism, or
That,
Well, yeah.
please. Let's clean
We're
that
a little
up.
behind the times.
okay, so we won't talk about that game.
Do better. Do better,
Yeah,
Mississippi.
oh,
Do better.
We can talk about the Iron Skillet Bowl.
Mm.
Auburn's plus 14.5. I don't know if that's high enough. Auburn's
It's not
terrible.
enough. 41.5, isn't it? They just lost to New Mexico State 31-10. Jerry
Is the
killed
line
the
still-
Aggies.
Is the line still 14.5? Is that why?
Horrible.
Who came up with that line? It's a massive rivalry. I get it, but Bama's been looking. Also, so UCF rivalry weekend they play Houston. What is that? That's
Mhm.
trash. Yeah, it's still 14.5 for the Iron Skillet Bowl.
Got to do it.
So
I
we're doing
love
clean
that
sweep
number.
Alabama.
I would take that number.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
comfortable with that number. I'm at 20.5. I would take it up to 20.5. I will tell you, listeners. Alabama, as you have said many times, Hob, wants to continue to make a statement. And
Yeah.
what better statement to just crush? And Auburn is hapless, and their souls have been ripped out. They lost to the New Mexico State Aggies at home, and not lost, were destroyed. Not like, oh, a field goal went in and we fumbled 8 times. 31-10. 31-10.
Embarrassing.
After they paid him $1.8 million to come out for the game, they
I
wrote
saw
him a
that.
check.
I'm using team rankings right now to look up the lines. They do have Ohio State is their pick for plus 3.5.
That's weird.
It moved to 3.5. Does that change you guys' mind at all?
I will be playing at 3.5 to 4, regardless.
Okay.
I'll play.
that makes you
Michigan.
happy
I'll
there,
play
Mitch.
Michigan at 6 probably.
No,
They like Florida State.
not factoring that Burn will be there. Burn is worth 1.5.
Yeah,
I got to
they're
consider
not
that.
taking into account that I'm currently 1-0 at the big
true.
house. All I do is
and-
bring W's.
They do like Alabama, but they like Alabama only at 50% confidence. It's weird. They think that Auburn's going to somehow muck this game up. It's weird. Might have to consider that one on Saturday. See what happens there. Jacksonville, Houston, NFL +1. Houston +1 at Houston. Burn.
Like it's crazy to think. Like at the beginning of the season, if you said that Houston was going to be like just a 1-point underdog at home,
Yeah.
Jaguars,
Wow.
you would have said no. Yeah, I'll take the Jags all day. But
It's +1.5.
Either way, but at the beginning of the season, you'd be like, "Oh man, I'll put my mortgage on the Jags." But Texans have owned the Jags in past. C.J. Stroud has played. He's
Lights
shown. He really has.
Yeah.
He's shown that he's making Carolina regret that decision. But
Cool.
but
Young is
with all that
back.
being said, the Jags are still upset and a little butthurt from the home loss to the Texans. I think they revenge that loss. Or is it avenge or revenge?
I would go avenge and an act of revenge.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. And we're going to go with active revenge.
Too many
That's why I
smashing.
had- That's why I have you guys here to help me with my
We're here
grammar.
for you, Burn.
Yes. So yes, they're going to avenge with an act of revenge, and they will cover. And I think it's going to be an easy win for the Jags, and I'm very excited for them to go 8-3.
Burn, I'm with you. Avenge with an act of revenge. I love CJ Stroud and what he's done. So fun to watch. They did pull out one with some defensive stops against the Cardinals at home on Sunday. But what I saw in there is Cardinals defense, who are not great, really getting some different looks for CJ Stroud that gave him some problems. I think 3 picks in that game. They were dropping some backers into deeper coverage where he usually has this. So the tape is out there for CJ Stroud. Do I still think he's phenomenal? I do. But I think that the Jags will figure that out. Jags offense, middle of the road, 16th in passing. However, Houston's defense is 25th in stopping the pass. T-Law, Sunshine is getting hot. You saw what Ridley's Believe It or Not did last week. I like that matchup there. They convert well on third downs through the Jags. They're top 10 in third down conversions at number 9. Houston, 18th in stopping third downs, especially thirds and shorts. Jags defense, 4th in stopping the run. Houston doesn't do a good job of running it, even with Devin Singletary. Both these teams have won 4 out of 5, but in a pick'em, I think to Bernie's point, the Jags want to prove this is their chance to make a statement, win that division, and position themselves for the end of season playoffs. I'm with the Jags here. Give me the Jags. The Jaguars?
Yeah, I think that Houston we're just at a point in the season here that Houston is just hot right now. You can't discount that for anything. If you were the Jags and you were going to play Houston, this is probably the worst time to play them because they're caliente right now, right? But at some point, the buck has to stop, right? Isn't that the old adage?
The Bucks have stopped.
The buck stops here.
The Bucks stops when we were there on that Sunday.
Yeah,
I think that's when the Bucks officially
Yeah.
stopped.
Yeah, that you're right about that. But you didn't like the way the Bucks looked against San Fran?
The Jags didn't look good against San Fran either.
Yeah, San Fran seems to have figured it out. They've licked their wounds and they're back to their early season form. The Jags on a clean sweep for the Sports Caviar crew, and as we know, when we do a clean sweep, you can take it to the bank, baby. I think the Bucks gonna stop here for the Texans. Buffalo at Philly. Philly's -3. Bijan.
Man, I love Philly, but their schedule is tough. It's a 17-game grind. What a phenomenal job by the Philly defense on Monday night, shutting out Patty Mahomes at home to come back and win that game.
Yeah.
21-17 is your final shoulda, woulda, coulda. They shut out Patty Mahomes.
Scantling.
Oh,
I don't know, but perhaps don't have your initials on your earrings or catch the ball. I'm going to get BCJ earrings. I need a pair of those. It clearly doesn't help. I think Buffalo's only won 2 out of their last 5. Okay, that's okay. 2 out of the last 5. Now, their 3 losses have only been on an average of 4 points. What's this line at? 3.5, which
3.
I really like.
Yeah, 3.5.
3.5 and 3. I'm going to play it at 4.
I got 3. I got 3 on it. I see 3.
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to close at 3.5 because public bettors more in Philly. They're gonna pound that, is my guess. Philly played a good brand of bend but don't break defense. They had some turnovers inside the 10 on Monday night against Kelsey. I think this is the Buffalo's chance to make a statement. They win it? No, but I'm going to take Buffalo. I like the way they look. Granted, if I could play the Jets every week, that would make anybody look good. But they got it back on track. Their defense looks great. It's a short week for Philly after an emotional win in Arrowhead on a disgusting night. They are coming back home. I'm going to take, this doesn't make much sense, but I just feel like the Bills are going to circle the wagons +3. And I love +3.5. But
it's only +3 for the purpose of the podcast.
Yeah, but we're still thinking 3.5. But yeah, it'll get there. I'm with Bijan here. I just think that, yes, everything says throw the money at Philly. They looked pretty good at times against KC, but like you said, if KC had receivers that could catch the ball, Philly loses that game.
Drops too, yeah.
Philly loses. So I think Buffalo, that was their first week getting acclimated to the new OC. Their defense is still one of their bright spots. And we have people that are going to be very upset with this pick, but I might even take the money line. I think Buffalo rights the ship and really says, hey, look, don't sleep on us. We're actually a really good team. Josh Allen just needs to cut down on his decision-making and those turnovers. And I think this is the week that he does it. And I think this is the week that Buffalo shows up. So I'm going to give me those points gladly, and I'll take Buffalo.
I agree with what you said, Bern. I love what I saw from Josh Allen in the Jets game. A lot more checkdowns, a lot more running with the football. That's one of his gifts that he was not doing, standing in the pocket, running around in circles to run the ball, even if it's for 4 or 5 yards.
Exactly.
I think that's a great point you made. We're going to see better decision making.
I like in this game, I'm going to do my classic flip flop. Whoever's losing at halftime is going to win the game, just because I do think it's going to be really close. I think this is a really even matchup between Philly and Buffalo. Philly's at home. You can't stop them on short yardage. Just nobody can stop the play.
It's 1st and 9 every time. 1st and 9.
What? So the strategy is you see the defensive tackles or the linebackers are jumping over the line to try to stop the QB sneak. It doesn't work.
It will never work because you're not getting low. It's low man that wins it. It's counterintuitive.
They go for the legs. They take the legs out of the D line, and then that allows everybody else to
at least 2 yards.
Yeah, they stack on top and just keep pushing. Like it's crazy.
Yeah, but there has to be a way to figure out how to stop that.
The D line has to go low immediately. Start low. I don't know.
Dig a trench literally and get underneath it. And start like a dog burying a bone. You got to start right at the line. Just dig it deep.
Do you just go to the goal line formation and just stack the middle with everybody's just shoulder to shoulder? Can you do a reverse push on the defensive line?
Yeah. Field goal block.
They were like 1st and goal on the 4, and I was like, they're just going to do the tush push twice.
I'm taking Philly, and Buffalo hasn't looked that good this season. I don't think that they haven't proven to me that they're back either, because anytime they do win a game, it's just against a crappy team. They should have even lost to the Bucs, by the way. If Godwin just turned around in the end zone, we would have won that game. But yeah, Philly at home, Philly's tough at home. Philly's tough in general. Buffalo has looked so bad. I don't understand why you're taking Buffalo either. You guys are going to lose that match. Don't listen to either of these two guys if you guys are somehow listening to our betting advice.
Yes, don't listen to the two people that are leading in the standings.
Don't listen to these two guys on this particular pick, because they're going to be way wrong. And you can mark the 10. Okay. We got Baltimore traveling to LA. They're going from the East Coast to the West Coast. Is it the best coast? You got the Chargers plus 4.5. Bijan.
Chargers in disarray. Really ugly loss in a game they had no business losing in Green Bay on Sunday. Brandon Staley defensive at the podium. He should be more focused on his play calling and drop passes from his rookie wide receiver. This is one where you may want to say, hey, Baltimore's got to go across the country. They got to play the Chargers. It's not a great home field advantage. It's a plastic stadium, plastic fans. Baltimore is a city with real fans and real football. Give me the team that is 1st in rushing against a team that's 12th in stopping it. Chargers defense has gotten bad. They moved up to 12th in stopping the run. Congratulations. Baltimore doesn't pass the ball most, but they may want to, because the Chargers are dead last in the league in stopping it. Zay Flowers, big day on deck. Mark Andrews is out, but Isaiah Likely will step up. Isaiah Likely is a great substitute and maybe a bit more athletic. Not as cerebral on the routes, but I like Isaiah Likely to fill this at 80%. 5th in yards per play. Baltimore gets more big plays than people imagine. Chargers 29th in the league in giving up big plays. All this formula. Give me the better team. The Chargers, I don't know how much more invested they have. Are they really in the race in the West? I like Baltimore by 7 to 8 points. Minus 3.5 is stealing here. Also, Baltimore defensive 1st in stacks. Herbert's going to be under duress all day.
Yeah, I'll make it easy since Bijan went with all those stats. You spit the stats better than everybody's. But because of all what he said, it's a pretty easy call. The Chargers are, like he said, in disarray. Brandon Staley needs to go back to Division III. Give me the Ravens. Lay the points. I'd even lay a couple extra if need be. But that's a travel for the West Coast to enjoy the weather and enjoy a big W.
Yeah, Baltimore might win the game, but the Chargers are in the entire NFL, they've lost 5 games this season by 3 points or less. Okay.
Yep.
It is insane. They've been right there on the edge of victory so many times this
Yeah,
season.
it's true.
I think that they've somehow, and I think it's because Herbert is really good, but
Yeah.
they figure out ways to keep these games close. So yes, they're coaches. I'm sure I would be frustrated if I was him because I'm like, okay, we're so close to being on the opposite end of the spectrum where we're like the top 4 teams in the AFC right now. It's
Yeah.
just little tweaks, little things the Chargers are going to cover just from the standpoint that they've done it so many times this season. They're playing at home. And to your point, Bijan, if they were playing in Baltimore, the line would probably be -7, -8 Baltimore, right? With a true home field advantage. So they're almost playing in a neutral site.
Yeah. It's a neutral site that they share a stadium.
Now,
cute.
when they were in San Diego, they actually had a true fan base over there.
They did. And all 14 of
Yeah.
them are still waiting for them to return.
I have traveled to San Diego and I've been there for a Chargers game. I didn't go to the stadium, but I was around a bunch of people. They were so into the game. They love the Chargers in San Diego. I was surprised by that, by the way. I'm going against you guys. You guys are aligned too much, I think.
That's what Bern and I do.
I think whoever goes first between you two, you're like, oh, I'm just gonna pick.
I don't
whatever.
take any notes. Whatever Bern says.
Enjoy your holiday. We are thankful for each and every one of you. We are blessed to have this platform to speak to each and every one of you. Goodbye. Good night. Take care.
Happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
God bless.